Hi friends, so welcome to Belly Dance Fabulous 50s, 50 reps of lots of lovely buttock and hip toning moves. Lovely and toning all around here and a nice tight butt to boot. Lovely. So to begin, we're just going to warm up our butt by getting nice and grounded into the floor, little pelvic tuck, nice straight spine, and by pushing into our heels, so your weight is over the heels, you can really activate straight up into those buttocks. And we're going to try and not use the thighs. Okay, so by that you just have to really contract one side, push deep into that heel so you can activate one buttock side, and then we'll activate the other buttock. Okay, so just doing a little gentle warm up, not doing any counting or reps at the moment, just try and pushing on one side, push through that floor to the point you can curl your toes up so much weight is over that hip, and just keep squeezing, pulling in the stomach, pull up the pelvic floor. The more you pull up the pelvic floor, the easier it is to access that glute and not have to use your thigh muscle too much. So you just focus on that buttock, and then we shift our weight into the other heel and the other side and just push into that heel and really pull up the pelvis at the same time. Get a good strong contraction in that booty. Squeeze it, squeeze it. So the other one should be quite flaccid and this one is really tight. Lovely. So just alternating one buttock, shift the weight, other buttock. And what we're going to do, my darlings, is we're going to do 50 reps. So we're going to squeeze 20 on one hip, 20 on the other. Okay. No, we do 10 each side. Then we're going to add our thighs. So you're going to contract the thigh and it becomes a sharp move. Okay, so we'll do 20 of those, and then finally both butt cheeks for 10. Okay, making up a lovely 50 of buttock squeezing. Here we go then. So starting on one hip, choose your favourite hip, get that weight over the heel and start contracting. Pulling up the pelvic floor, pull the belly button in, makes it much easier to isolate that. That's 10 on that side. We're going to shift to do 10 on this side. Really squeeze into that. Buttock, squeeze, focus, think, picture your buttock. Really tightening and squeezing up. Change back to this side. Squeeze, pulling up the pelvic floor, push through that heel to really engage that buttock. I almost lost my count there. Okay, change hip. Really pushing through the heel, pull everything, you're drawing it in and up, squeezing it, squeeze it, squeeze, 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 and squeeze. Okay, now we're going to add thigh, but keep your heels plugged deeply into the floor, okay? And, sorry, the music has paused for a moment. So what we're doing, it's really annoying my music. You know what, we'll do without music. So the next thing is adding our thighs. So you're really pushing through your heel again, but you're really engaging that whole thigh and you can feel the power coming up into those hips. So as the thigh engages, it engages all the booty here. And it starts engaging a bit of hip flexors as well. So squeeze, 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 squeeze. Lovely. So we're going to do 25 this side, 25 that side. Are you ready? Oh, of course you are. No, that's 20 each side. Sorry. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. Pulling it all up. 9, 10, 11, 12, 13. Push through the heel. 14, 15, 16, squeeze, 18, 19, 20. Let's shift weight and do this side. Sitting deep, you've got a little softness in the knees. It'll really help add some power there. So squeeze, 2, 3, 4, 5, pulling up that pelvic floor, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, 14, 15, 16, 17, 18, 19, 20. And now both butt cheeks together. Are you ready? Sit deep. And we're going to use just buttocks. Try not to use the thighs again. And here we go. Squeeze, 2, pull up the pelvic floor. Squeeze, squeeze, pulling the belly button at the same time. Work together, push through those heels. And that is 50, if not more, butt squeezes. So the next thing we're going to do are hip raises. It's exactly the same thing, but with our heel raised. So we're going to engage thigh and buttock at the same time, and we're going to make the move as strong and powerful as we can, so that all of the hip area is engaged. And remember, whenever you're squeezing, the more you can pull up that pelvic floor and belly and squeeze it all up and in, the stronger this area becomes. Here we go. So we're going to do simply 25 squeezes on this hip and 25 on this hip. Here we go. And 1, 2, 3, 4. Really powerful. Squeeze it really hard. Squeeze, squeeze, squeeze. Strong as you can. Pulling it all up much as you can. Another 2, 3, 4. And we're done. That was quick, wasn't it? Other hip. So heel is raised, and start that pulling everything in and up. Squeeze tight. 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10. Oh, lovely. It's just really tight in the buttocks. You're trying to squeeze as much power into those hips as you can. Final 3, 2, 1, bam. 50 squeezes. Easy, easy. So we're now going to hone it a little more, add in a few more muscles, and we're going to do the same thing, but we're going to create a V shape. So if I turn sideways, we're going to squeeze our hips as we've just done, but we're going to squeeze them up and forward. So there's a little twist going through, wrapping around those hips. So squeeze it up, squeeze it down, and boof. But you want to do it with control, nothing passive. It's power. Boom! And you're doing that by contracting all those buttock muscles. Squeeze it! So it should be lovely sharp. So sharp, boom, boom, V. Going up, down, up, down, up, down. Okay, are you ready? So we're going to do 10 on our right hip. Here we go. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, squeeze it all in, 6, 7, 8, 9, and 10. Change hip. I'm swiveling just so for demonstration purposes. Are you ready? With that power, push through the balls of the feet. Here we go. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, and 10. Lovely. Now we're going to do those V shapes, and we're going to go around on the spot. So it's step and back. So each step is the forward one. So you're doing a little step twist forward, down, back. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, and 10. And we're going to do the same on the other leg. Are you ready? Squeezing everything in and up. Really push through the balls of the feet to get a good strong tightening all the way up the leg. And 1, 2, 3. Trying to keep that V. 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, and 10. Lovely. And now we're going to alternate hips to make up a full 50. So here we go. So it means a V, forward, down, back, change hip, forward, down, back, forward, down, back, forward, down, back. Okay, a few more. If you've got space, you can always do this as a stepping move. And if it's too fast, slow right down. That has to be 10. Woo! That was good. I'm starting to feel my heart rate get up. So another 50 in the bag. That's 50 V hips. Now the next one is L shape. And literally squeezing up, down and out, just like an L with our hip. So first of all, squeezing up as we've been doing. Squeeze it down really hard. And now we're going to push out to the side and then back in. Okay, so squeeze it up, down, push it out, pull it back in. Squeeze up, squeeze down, push out, squeeze in. So it's not passive, you're not pushing all floppy. You are doing it with intent, with really contracted buttocks. So the buttock is driving the direction of those hips. So you really want squeezed in buttocks. So you squeeze it hard up, you pull it hard down, push it out and then really squeeze it all back in. Okay, and we'll do 10 on one hip. Here we go. 1, 2, keep it all tight here. 4, 5, 6, 7, tight, 8, 9, 10 of the hip and up, down, out and up, down, out. Squeeze, squeeze, push, squeeze, 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 push, squeeze. That's it. It's probably 5, isn't it? 6, 7, 8, 9 and 10. Lovely. Now we're going to do travelling forward. So we're going to go up, down, out. So the next step, you're pushing, as you step, that's the up, down, out, step up, down, out, step up, down, out. We're going to do 10 forward, 10 back, but you probably won't have space. So just do it on the spot or just do teeny steps. Here we go. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Really squeeze it in. 6, 7, squeeze, 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 squeeze. Going back. 2, 3, 4. Squeeze tight. 7, 8, 9 and 10. Lovely. And now alternating hips. We've just done that, haven't we? We'll do that alternating hips on the spot just to round it off to a nice 50. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10. Yes. Well done, well done. So that's all the sharp moves. Now we're going to focus on control in more voluptuous, curvaceous moves, starting with the most divine hip stretch, the outside Maya. So one heel raised, hoik that hip up as high as it will go, and now slowly let your hips press as your body leans away. So you start feeling this lovely stretch all the way down the side and hip until you lower your heel again. So you've got a nice flat heel and you'll feel a stretch all on the outer hip there, which feels divine, especially after all that work we've just done. And then we're just going to come up really high, start pushing your weight into that hip. So the hip is just pulling your body as your heel naturally settles back in the ground. You've got soft knees and you should feel a lovely stretch all the way around the hips and the booty. One of the nicest stretches for this area that you can find. Okay, so we're going to do those, but repeatedly. So as we land and all our weight is onto one side, we pick up this hip and then push it out and down and finish with really soft knees until we go to the other side. So alternating 20 times. Are you ready? 1, take your time. 2, oh, it feels lovely. 3, 4, get up as high as you can, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, is that it? No, 11, 12, oh, it's just divine, 13, 14, really push it out as far as you can to maximum stretch, 15, 16, 17, oh lovely, 18, there's no swinging in the hips don't swing back, the pelvis doesn't move, everything is facing square on. Lovely. So that's about 20. So now we're going to do that, but we're going to walk it. So tiny steps when you're walking, not just for space, but just because you put more energy into the move. So nice. Feet hip width apart, teeny steps. So 1 and 2 and 3 and 4 and 5 and 6 and 7 and 8 and 9 and 10, going back 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9 and 10. Oh my goodness, that feels like heaven. And now we're going to do those either on the spot, I'm just doing another 10, or if you want to, you can take it down and then come up just for a bit of variety and fun. And then when you've done your 10, you can shake it out. Lovely. Right, our final one is our inside Maya, often known as vertical figure of 8, because your hips are drawing a very sleepy 8 that's lying on its side. But it's that infinity sign basically that we're doing. So soft knees, let that hip drop down to one side, push it out and up, and then as that hip comes up, this hip drops and you push out and up. I often like to think of, there's some water trickling all the way down there and you're going, oh no, it's going to spill, and then push it up and then it all trickles all the way down to the other hip. So you're swooshing liquid from one hip to the other, and then you get this lovely infinity move, which is so nice for the pelvis area on the whole, delicious for hips, waist, lower back, thighs. It's just a good one. So we're going to do 20 on the spot, okay, and then we'll do some forward and back and then we're going to do some side swan. Okay, so here we go. 1, 2, 3, keep those knees soft, 4, heels ground in, 5, 6, 7, really pull in the belly, nice tension, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, move your arms if that feels nice, otherwise just focus on the hips. It's about 15, 16, 17, 18, 19, 20. Now we're going to do these as a stepping move, which sometimes is actually easier. So, because as you step, your hip really sinks down, and then you push out, step. Again, keeping the feet small steps and quite close together so you can have control. So doing 10 forward, 10 back. 1, 2, 3, 4. Really let that hip sink down. 6, 7, 8, 9, and 10. Stepping back. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10. Now we're going to do singles. So instead of alternating hip, we're just going to continuously step down and up to the side. Step down, push that hip up. Step down, push hip up. And this is the 5th one, I think. And then we're going back the other direction. So with the other hip, push down and up. 2, 3, 4 and 5, and that is 50 inside Myers. Lovely. So you've done the hard work. We're just going to release all that out. So just for a little hip stretch, getting into those love handle areas, hip up, roll and back. So unlike the Maya that I've just described where the hips stay square, this time you're allowed to completely swing that hip back. Swing the hip back so you come up on the heel and just have a good, lovely stretch, especially into the lower back. It feels delicious. And then the best thing of all for a good release of tension in buttocks, in thighs, all over, is a good hard hip shimmy. So are you ready? You can have feet as wide apart as you want. Heel, weight over the heels to get a really good shake on. Brace yourself and shake and shake. Get over, feel the buttocks lobbling as you gently shake out any tension, any lactic acid. Shift away. You can go on top of the leg, shake the leg, shake, and the other leg, and the hands, and just give it a really hard shake.